Welcome to another deep dive. We're going to be looking at some pretty interesting ideas about building wealth and living an extraordinary life.
Yeah, and what's so cool is we're not just talking about those those quick tips or tricks like you see everywhere.
Right.
We're really going deep into like the core philosophies that can actually change how you think about success.
It's like a mental upgrade.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So one thing that really jumped out at me was this idea of a ladder of income.
Okay.
This concept that you can actually multiply your income,
Right.
not just get like a small raise every year or every few years.
It's a completely different way to think about things.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking you're just going to grow a little bit each year, it's like recognizing there are times when you level up.
Yeah.
Like you level up your skills and then your value, and suddenly you're not making $5 an hour, you could be making thousands.
And the examples in the source material really drive this home.
Yeah.
Like comparing a typical hourly worker to someone like a high-level consultant or a popular speaker who can command those huge fees for their expertise.
Exactly. And it's not about like luck or anything like that.
Right.
It comes down to one message: work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
Mm.
Investing in yourself, that's what unlocks those higher levels of income.
So it's not just about putting in the hours at work.
No.
It's about putting in the hours to actually become more valuable
Exactly.
in the marketplace.
Yeah.
What kind of skills or traits do you think make someone really stand out? And, the source material calls it attractive
Okay.
in that competitive landscape.
Yeah, well, I think it boils down to a couple of key things.
Okay.
First, you have to be a master communicator.
Okay.
And I don't just mean speaking or writing well. I
Mhm.
mean really understanding how to connect with people, how to inspire them, how to get them to see your vision.
And that makes me think about how the source material breaks down communication into these three levels: training, teaching, and inspiring.
Yeah, and inspiring is really the next level skill.
It is.
Because when you can inspire people, you're not just giving them information, you're creating a movement.
Yeah.
You're helping them to see a better version of themselves and a better future.
And that kind of influence translates into real results,
Absolutely.
whether it's, closing deals or building a loyal following or leading a team to actually achieve something amazing.
Right now, alongside communication, another key trait is adaptability.
Okay.
We're living in a world that's changing faster than ever,
Right.
and people who can learn new skills, quickly embrace new technologies,
Right.
they're the ones who are going to have a big advantage.
The source material calls them multi-skilled.
Yes. Having a diverse toolkit that helps you thrive in different environments and take advantage of new opportunities as they come up.
So it's not just about climbing a ladder. It's about building your own ladder,
That's a great way to put it.
adding rungs as you develop new skills and discover new passions.
I like that, and I think that leads perfectly into this idea of moving beyond survival to embracing a more philosophy, this concept that's based on the idea of being fruitful and multiplying, but it goes beyond just having lots of money.
It's almost like you're creating a ripple effect,
Exactly.
generating more than you need so that you can provide for yourself and your family,
Yes.
but then also have enough to be generous and make a real impact on the world.
Exactly. It's about getting to that level where you're not just focused on getting by, you're focused on giving back, contributing to something bigger than yourself, and leaving a legacy that lasts beyond your lifetime.
The source material actually outlines different levels of this more philosophy,
Yeah.
starting with providing for yourself
Yeah.
and then expanding outwards to your family, your community, and even beyond.
It's a pretty inspiring way to think about success.
It is, and it ties into this idea that profits are better than wages.
Okay.
It's not just about working for a paycheck. It's about building assets
Yeah.
and creating systems that make you money even when you're not working.
A big shift in mindset.
It is. It's like moving from trading your time for money to building something that works for you even while you're sleeping.
And that's where entrepreneurship comes in.
Okay.
The source material really highlights how powerful it is to create your own business, to be a producer, not just a consumer.
Because when you're running your own business, you have the potential to multiply your income exponentially.
Right.
You're not limited by a salary or an hourly rate. You can create real wealth and financial freedom.
And that's why the source material encourages us to focus on mastering those timeless principles, those fundamentals that apply to any field,
Right.
whether it's business or personal development or even spirituality.
It's recognizing that real success isn't built on those quick fixes or trendy tactics,
No.
but on lasting principles that have stood the test of time.
Exactly. And one of those fundamental principles is the importance of developing a strong personal philosophy.
It goes back to what we were talking about before, right?
Yeah.
Your beliefs shape your reality. So if you want to achieve extraordinary results, you need to develop the right mindset.
You have to choose those beliefs and values that empower you to make good decisions, overcome obstacles, and create a life that's aligned with your potential.
And I think that leads perfectly into this interesting idea of manufacturing antiques.
This is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor for focusing on those timeless principles, those fundamental truths that have been proven over centuries,
Hmm.
instead of chasing those latest fads or trends.
So it's recognizing that wisdom is often found in those principles that have guided people for generations.
Exactly. And the source material contrasts this with our tendency to get caught up searching for new truths, saying that often what we think is new is just old ideas repackaged.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that we should always be questioning what we're being told and looking for those underlying principles that have stood the test of time.
To illustrate this idea of focusing on fundamentals, the source material dives into the biblical story of Job.
This is where things get really metaphorical.
Yeah, it uses this ancient story to talk about faith adversity and how our personal philosophy helps us through challenges in life.
It's a pretty interesting interpretation.
It is, the source material says that both danger and opportunity were put into the world on purpose,
Hmm.
setting the stage for an adventure where humans get to choose their path.
It's a thought-provoking idea that challenges are not things to avoid,
Right.
but opportunities to learn and grow.
Exactly. And they use the wager regarding Job's faith to illustrate this idea.
Right.
It's a reminder that adversity tests our beliefs and values,
Yeah.
making us confront our deepest fears and discover our real strength.
And ultimately, the source material suggests that embracing challenges and learning from our experiences helps us build a more resilient and adaptable philosophy.
Yeah, a philosophy that guides us toward a more fulfilling life.
Okay, so along with having a strong personal philosophy, the source material also emphasizes the importance of learning from multiple sources and being careful about what we let into our minds.
Right. This goes back to those ideas about sight hearing and selective listening.
We're always getting hit with information
We are.
from everywhere,
Yeah.
and we need to be able to filter that information and pick out the good stuff.
Exactly. The source material uses a funny example about white chicks talking trash
Yeah.
to make the point that not all information is good information.
Right,
We should be careful about who we trust.
right. It's a good reminder that we need to be actively involved in our learning,
Yeah.
questioning what we're told and looking for information that aligns with our values and goals.
Now, speaking of looking for good information, the source material talks about the importance of reading a lot,
Yeah.
especially books that can help us develop the knowledge and skills we need to succeed.
It goes back to that idea, investing in ourselves,
Right.
making sure we're always learning and growing.
The source material even mentions a book for teenagers.
Hmm.
That's designed to teach young people about financial success and why it's important to understand capitalism.
Makes you think about what books have really had an impact on you
Yeah.
and your journey.
It does.
Maybe it's time to go back and read some of those classics.
Right.
Or find some new ones that can help us navigate the complexities of today's world.
Absolutely.
So to wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
let's go back to that central theme of multiplying income and achieving an extraordinary life.
Yeah.
It's been fascinating to explore economic philosophy, personal development, and the power of belief.
It has.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
There's so much more to unpack and explore.
There is. Yeah, it really is a journey. And I think one of the best things we can take away from this is that it makes us think about success differently. Not as like a finish line, but as this
Yeah.
process of always growing and changing.
So how do we actually put that into practice?
Right.
That idea of working harder on ourselves.
Yeah, where do we even begin?
Right.
Well, the source material actually gives us some steps, and it all comes back to those fundamentals we were talking about. First, you have to develop a strong personal philosophy, like an internal compass that guides your choices and actions.
Okay, but isn't philosophy kind of a,
Yeah,
philosophical?
right.
How do we make one that works for us in real life?
It's a good question. The source material says a good philosophy starts with figuring out your core values.
Okay.
Those things that are non-negotiable for you, the things you really believe in.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a good foundation.
Yeah.
Like having guiding principles that help you make decisions that are in line with what you really want.
Exactly. And once you have that foundation, you need to keep refining and expanding your philosophy through learning.
Okay.
The source material really stresses how important it is to become a lifelong learner, taking in information from different places.
So it's not just about reading books. It's about being open to learning from our experiences, the people around us, even our mistakes.
Absolutely. And it's about being choosy about what information we let into our minds and blocking out the stuff that distracts us from our goals. Remember that white chicks talking trash example?
Yeah.
Not all information is good information.
Right. It's about choosing carefully, like curating what we feed our mind.
Exactly. Making sure it's valuable and fits with what we want to achieve.
And speaking of valuable information, the source material also talks about reading a lot.
It does.
And not just for fun, but to learn new skills, broaden our perspectives, and challenge what we think we know.
It's like we're building a library of wisdom in our minds.
Yeah, gathering all the insights and knowledge from those who came before us.
Exactly. And the source material even says we should invest in books that are specific to our goals.
Okay.
So if you want to be an entrepreneur, read books about business. If you want to learn a new skill, find the best books on that topic.
It's like creating a personalized education for ourselves.
Yeah, one that's tailored to exactly what we want to achieve.
And that brings us to another important principle that's all over this material: taking action.
Right.
It's not enough to just read or listen. We have to actually use what we learn.
Exactly. It's about taking action and making things happen in the real world.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
It is. And the source material reminds us that taking action isn't always easy.
Right.
It can be scary to leave your comfort zone to take risks and face the possibility of failing.
Yeah, but isn't that part of what makes it so rewarding?
It is. Those challenges help us grow and reach our full potential.
There's that saying, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor.
Exactly. We need those tough times, those moments of adversity to make us stronger and more adaptable.
And the source material uses that great analogy of manufacturing antiques
Right.
to show that real success comes from those timeless principles.
The ones that have stood the test of time.
Yeah, it's not about chasing fads, but about mastering the fundamentals.
Exactly. So it's about using the wisdom of the past while adapting it to the challenges of today.
It's recognizing that those old principles can still be the foundation for success in the modern world.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to multiplying income.
Okay.
The source material gives us a lot of strategies for building wealth.
Yeah.
But one of the most important is changing our mindset. From trading our time for money to building assets that generate income even when we're not working.
So it's like moving away from earning a salary to creating something that makes money for you.
Exactly. And the source material gives us real examples of this in action. The story of Mark Hughes, who started Herbalife, is really inspiring.
Yeah.
He built a huge company that made him wealthy, but also gave others the chance to improve their lives.
That's a great example of how entrepreneurship, combined with helping others,
Yeah.
can lead to financial success and a positive impact on the world.
Now, as we keep going with this deep dive, I want to come back to working harder on yourself than you do on your job,
Okay.
because it's really the basis for everything we've been talking about.
It seems so simple.
It does.
But it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's about realizing that the best investment we can make is in ourselves.
In our own growth, our knowledge, skills, and abilities.
And it's not just about learning new things.
Right. It's about building our character, our mindset, our resilience.
Okay.
Those are the things that will determine our success in every area of life.
It's like the source material says, success is something you attract by the person you become.
Exactly. The more we work on ourselves, the more we develop the qualities that bring success.
Yeah, whether it's money, relationships, or sense of purpose.
Right. And that's why the source material emphasizes having a strong personal philosophy. It's about choosing the beliefs and values that help us make good decisions, overcome obstacles, and create a life that truly reflects our potential.
It's about becoming the architects of our own lives.
Exactly. Not just reacting to what's happening around us.
Now, as we get deeper into personal growth, it's important to remember that it's not always easy.
No, it's not.
It often means pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones.
Facing our limiting beliefs and accepting that we might fail.
Yeah, that can be a little intimidating.
It can, but isn't that what makes the journey so rewarding?
It is. It's in those tough moments that we find out how strong and resilient we really are.
And the source material gives us some practical advice for getting through those tough times.
It does. One thing it says is to focus on those fundamental principles that have stood the test of time.
Okay.
Don't chase quick fixes or fads.
Right.
Focus on those enduring truths that have guided people for generations.
So it's about recognizing that wisdom often comes from those principles that have been around for a long time.
Exactly. It's about taking the wisdom of the past and applying it to the present.
And the source material also encourages us to be careful about who we learn from.
Yes. To actively search for information that is valuable and aligns with our goals.
So it's not just about absorbing everything we come across,
No.
but about being critical and making sure it helps us move forward.
And that carefulness extends to the people we spend time with. The source material says it's important to build relationships with people who inspire us, challenge us, and support us.
It's about surrounding ourselves with positive people.
Yeah, people who share our values and want to help us reach our full potential.
We all need that support system.
We do. We need those people who are on the same journey as us.
Now, speaking of reaching our full potential, one of the most interesting ideas in the source material is profits are better than wages.
Yes, it really makes us think about earning money and building wealth in a new way.
It does. It's about recognizing the difference between trading our time for money, which is a wage,
Yeah.
and building assets that generate income, even when we're not working, which is profit,
Exactly. It's moving from a linear way of making money to a more exponential way.
where our income can grow through leverage investments in systems,
Right, and the source material gives us real examples of this.
like the story of Mark Hughes in Herbalife.
Yes, but there are many other stories of people who built businesses, invested wisely, and created multiple streams of income.
It's inspiring to think about the possibilities.
It is.
Financial freedom isn't just a dream, it's a real possibility.
It is for those who are willing to put in the work. Develop the right mindset and follow those principles that have been proven over time. And that's why the source material tells us to focus on those fundamentals, those timeless principles that have stood the test of time.
Right? It's about recognizing that real success is built on a strong foundation of wisdom, knowledge, and character. So it's about building our lives on those principles that have proven their worth over centuries. It's
Exactly.
about taking the wisdom of the past and adapting it to the present.
Right, and it's about understanding that our journey to success is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about consistently working on ourselves, developing our skills, expanding our knowledge, and cultivating those qualities that attract success.
Because in the end, success isn't just about achieving goals.
No.
It's about becoming the best versions of ourselves.
And living a life that is both fulfilling and meaningful.
And that's where that more philosophy comes in.
Yes, it's not just about getting rich for ourselves. It's
Yeah.
about using what we have to make a positive impact on the world.
To give back to others and leave a legacy.
Exactly. It's about understanding that true abundance goes beyond material things.
It's about living a life of purpose, generosity, and contribution.
Yeah, it's about shifting our thinking from scarcity to abundance, from competition to collaboration, and from self-interest to service.
And that's a powerful shift. It means recognizing we can create a better world for ourselves and future generations, one that's fair and where everyone has enough.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a few takeaways that I hope will inspire you and help you take action.
Sounds good. What are those golden nuggets of wisdom?
Well, first, remember your beliefs really do shape your reality. So if you want amazing results, you need a mindset that supports that.
It's about choosing those beliefs and values that help us make good decisions, overcome problems, and create a life that's really in line with our potential.
Exactly. And that brings us to the second takeaway. Embrace lifelong learning. The world's always changing, and if we want to stay ahead, we have to keep learning, growing, and adapting.
So it's not just about gaining knowledge. It's about developing that ability to think critically, to filter information and make good choices.
Right. And that leads to the third takeaway, Master. The fundamentals. Real success doesn't come from those quick fixes or the latest trends.
Right.
It comes from those principles that have stood the test of time.
Recognizing that wisdom often comes from those simple but profound truths that have guided people for generations.
Exactly. And finally, remember, action is key. It's not enough to just have ideas. You have to put them into practice and make things happen.
It's about taking that leap of faith, stepping outside our comfort zones, and facing the challenges that come with going after our dreams.
Now, as you go and apply these principles in your own life, remember success is a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
There will be highs and lows, challenges and setbacks, but it's through those experiences that we learn and grow and ultimately achieve our goals.
And don't forget the power of community. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and support you. We're all in this together, and together we can achieve amazing things.
So as we finish up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question. What one belief or principle you use to guide you on your journey to create an extraordinary life? What fundamental truth resonates most deeply with you and fuels your passion to make a difference?
That's a great question to think about as you reflect on that. Remember, you have the power to create your own destiny, to create a life that's both meaningful and fulfilling. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found some valuable insights that will help you on your journey to success.